Hey everybody, I won't make you sit through the intro this time. Sorry, sorry about the wait. Somehow I disconnected my microphone. Well, I know how I did it. It asked me to, and I was like, "Oh yeah." And because I thought I was restarting my computer doing something good, and I disconnected my mic. So can we hear me? Are are we here? Are we there? I need to fix my camera. There we go. We can hear me? Okie dokie. Hello, hello. Okay, good. Because I was really talking. I was really going at it. And I didn't see the messages because when I go live, which is dumb, I'm going to tell, okay, if you are a content creator and you go live, start at the bottom of your chat. Don't scroll up to the top, and be greeting the first to be here, right? Stick to the bottom until you know you could be heard because then you're like, everyone's like muted, muted, and you're all the way up at the top, like greeting people, and you have no clue at all. So that's just a piece of advice from, yours truly that's been on the platform for a little while. But hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me again. My name is Tanya. This is Titanium Built True Crime, where we deep dive into true crime cases, police reports, timelines, breaking news, all of the things, that come into true crime. We do live mostly, and we are going to start doing pre-recorded videos. That's what this machine over here is for. So be on the lookout for that. I'm hoping to get the first one out by next Saturday. So be on the lookout. But welcome in. It's good to see everybody. I haven't been here for 4 days. It's been a while. So, it just sounded like not me. Oh, I've been okay. Yes, Ashley. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys missed me. I missed you guys too. Hey, Lisa. I was like, I fixed it. I'll be on at 9:15. Hey, Ladybug. My little ladybug. Hey, Cuffy you. Ooh, you can have an unpopular opinion. We're allowed to have one in here. We won't come at you, I promise. I like you too much. If it was someone else, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. You have some thunderstorms coming in? Ooh, we're supposed to have them. That's what they said the last couple of days that we were going to have rain, and we did it. I even went to our gym today because I was like, man, I didn't do anything for 4 days. Yeah, let's try to stay silver. Yeah, civil. Yeah, I could do that. Because, I mean, sorry, even Ladybug, she has questions and stuff still. So you're not the only one, if that's what it is. Hey, Sandra, welcome in. I'm glad I fixed it too. I know, Laura, I called Vincent and I was like, I fixed it. It just, like, asked me if I wanted to update it, and I was like, "Sure, why not?" And then it fixed it. So it wasn't really he was like, "Look at you updating things." I was like, "I'm learning." "Hey, Tracy. Hey, baby girl." And he wasn't here, so I was like, "Oh my god, he's not here." "Hey, Crystal. I'm glad you guys can hear me." Did I say hi to you, Laura? I know I did in the last live, but I don't know if I did in this live. "Hey, Miss Bree." Well, welcome in, everybody. You guys are all awesome. "Hey, PKC. Hey, the classic one. It has been a minute." We have had some people come in and I've been like amazed. Hey, Cher Thompson, welcome in. Or Sherry Thompson, Sheriff. Well, now your name is Sheriff Thompson. That's what you go by. You're the sheriff in this. You're the sheriff in this chat now. Welcome in. Welcome in. My mom's maiden name was Thompson, actually. I love that last name, actually. Been very busy, classic one. I hear you. There's a lot of things I need to do, but I haven't done them yet. We'll get to them though. But if you'd like to support the channel, and keep the content coming, just consider becoming a member of the channel or just hit the like button, watch the videos, enjoy the content. That's all I need, really. It's all I need. Anything extra is just extra, and that's just really great. So let's go ahead and get into it because we have to go over some stuff with Dylan. And I was trying to see how it was like, how it was written because it's written kind of weird. Like the transcript is like you read this side of the transcript and then you read like this side of the transcript. But then I realized right before the live there was like numbers and I was like, oh, I'm really not I'm not dumb. I'm just sometimes I just don't see. That's what it is. But I did want to put up this really quick. They Now I don't know why they would pause it. Let me know if you guys know. So they paused the GoFundMe for Dylan, and I was just wondering maybe because they met, their goal. That Sorry, I hit the mic, but maybe because they met their goal, they weren't going to like, you know, do it anymore because this was 7 months ago. What was that? What was July? Like that'd be March. So maybe I don't know. But she did stop it. Um and they paused it or whatever. I did look it up though. Oh, and of course, all my tabs went away when I restarted my computer again. But it was just like I was just asking it why would you pause a GoFundMe? And it was just there was many reasons why. Now we do have some good news here on the Gonzalez front. And if anybody says anything about this, kiss my butt because they are perfect and they're going to make beautiful babies and they're going to have a beautiful wedding. And look at the rock on her finger, okay? We're having a wedding. We are having a July 4th, 2026 wedding, okay? These two, they're in love. Let them be in love, They're in love. What can you say about love? You can't be mad at love. You can't. Can't be mad at love. So yeah, they're gonna get married, which is great. That's great. It gives them something to look forward to, gives something the Gonzalez's to look forward to. Let me get off the screen so you can see her because you really gotta I don't know if you can even see the rock. You gotta see this. It is like, if you can zoom in on your phone, I'm telling you, Steve, you did good. Steve, you did real good. Real good, Steve. Fabulous job. Fabulous. Fabulous ring, fabulous woman. They're gonna be good together. They're gonna be good together. I really do. I really do think that they're doing like good content. They're doing like, life vlogging together now. It's just that's cute, okay? That's cute. So hey, you doing? She could be sitting out front of Nancy Guthrie's house right now with her mother. So we're glad she's not doing that. But no, I thought that was nice. So I thought that I would show you guys that. Also, oh, I didn't mean to. Let me see if I can pull that back up really quick. I didn't mean to okay. Because I have some of Dylan's interviews up because I didn't want to have to I was trying not to read something that was already done in an interview, but it looks like these might just be new, like new interviews. So let's go over to them. Also, I'm going to share this with you guys really quick. I saw this and I was like, ooh. So In Touch put out, Kaylee Gonzalez mom wants to meet Idaho 4 killer Brian Koberger, reveals what she would say. Now, if your daughter was killed, would you want to meet the killer that killed your daughter? I would. I would personally. I would. Did you see that Rock Ladybug? Oh my goodness, I know, right? Let me grab my drink really quick. My first wedding ring was $30. I love that. My mom and dad, they only had wedding bands, and I think there were $60 at Kmart or something stupid. You know what I mean? It was all about love with them. It was. So I would marry Vincent with paper rings, just like Taylor Swift. I don't even have my ring on. Ooh. I haven't been wearing it because my finger's been swollen. Okay. She looked pissed in this picture too. Christy does. Christy Gonzalez is dropping bombshell new details about the brutal murder of her daughter, Kaylee Gonzalez, as she has direct message for the killer. Uh-oh. It's been more than 3 years since the 21-year-old Kaylee and her University of Idaho friends, Madison Mogan, 21, Xander Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20, were brutally murdered inside their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, 2022. Their killer, Brian Koberger, was a former criminology PhD student with no known connection to any of the four students. In a candidate interview with the Daily Mail at CrimeCon, in Las Vegas, that was published on Tuesday, June 2nd, Christy laid bare the horror her daughter suffered in her final moments. Do you not think what you did to our daughter when we found out that you stabbed her 38 times with a 7-inch K-bar military model knife, 24 times to the face, to her head, 11 times to her chest and neck, and 3 defensive wounds as she sat up in that bed and she fought for her life? She said, looking into the camera to address the killer directly. Well, she had got CrimeCon so he could see it. She continued, and you know this because you were there. You broke bones in her face. You knocked her teeth out. You broke her nose. Her ocular bones were broken. Can you just tell me why? The mother of 5 also made an emotional appeal to the 31-year-old killer's reported closeness to his own mom. I'm a mother, and you have a mother too. Can you please just tell me why? She should have said, I'm disappointed in you. She should have thrown that in there. When moms say that to anybody, you just feel like crap. Kaylee's father, Steve Gonzalez, added, that's all you would have to do. Explain to us how it happened and what other weapon you used. I don't think there was another weapon, Steve. Christy also revealed she would absolutely sit face to face with Kohlberger if given the chance. I would ask him why. She said, please, please, please do not think that our family has been through enough. They really need to know. Like this family needs, I feel bad. Like they really want answers, and they might not ever get them. Like that's the sad thing. They may never get these answers that they just really want. And I wouldn't be able to sleep at night without them. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to sleep without them. I would be thinking, I mean, if you're a mom, like you just be thinking like, why, if there's no connection, why did he, stab and brutally hurt and murder Kaylee and Xana compared to Ethan and Maddie? Like the wounds are different. They're much harder and much stronger with Xana and Kaylee. And I think it's because Xana and Kaylee got in his way. So it says the Gonzalez family was denied answers in court after Koberger struck a deal that spared him the death penalty. He refused to make any statement at his hearings. Christy still clings to hope. He won't even talk to Peru. He mad. Maybe if you send him a kite. There's still a chance that we could get the answer. He's still alive in prison. Maybe one day he'll choose to speak with a journalist and we'll spill the beans. That's the only thing you can hope for, really, But I would like to see Christy sit in front of Koberger. What if we can get that like on tape? Now that would be some shit. Like we need like the ID channel to hook this up. What's that guy's name? Pierce, whatever. And he's always going to the court, or he's always going to the jails talking to inmates. We need him. I think he's like British or something. He's probably not British. I'm probably really wrong. But we need him. What's this? Oh, I don't know why I had that up. Okay. So is everybody Morgan? Yeah, I don't know why. Why couldn't I think of Pierce Morgan? Morgan's an easy name. Thanks, guys. You know me. Even if he told them it would help or hurt them more, there's nothing he could say that could help ease their situation. True crime. Yeah. Rewind. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that and this is different. Like this is way different. This is so different. Like this isn't comparable, but when my father was killed, I wanted answers. You know what I mean? Like, and I went and looked for answers. And sometimes some answers you don't want. Like, I'm not being serious. Some answers you don't want them. You don't wanna know. Like, you just don't wanna know. It's better not to know. Like, it's sad to say that, but sometimes it is better not to know because it can really it can impact you even more. Okay, this is kinda big, but I don't really know how to make it smaller. We're we're on, like, Adobe, yeah. Oh, look, it's down here. Oh, there we go. Okay, how's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing great? Everybody doing fabulous? It's Friday, isn't it? Is it Friday or is it Thursday? I don't even know. It's Thursday. Damn it. Still got one more day till the weekend, but I'm gonna make your Thursday night fabulous, okay? We're gonna read about Dylan, and then we're gonna figure out what she said, okay? If anyone has any questions, let me move you guys over so I can see if you have any questions. If you guys have any questions for me, just let me know in the chat. I'll have the chat right here so that I can see everybody. Hey, Ozzy. They do need to accept it and move on. I personally think the people that are not accepting this, no offense to those people, but I feel like they don't wanna go back to their real life or something. Because this case was like it was interesting to find out what was going on and who was there and what was what and, the who's and the whats and the wheres and the whys, and, like, now that we know, for the most part, all of that, it's like there's just some people that won't they'll fight you to the death. They'll fight you to the death on it. I mean, they sure will. They sure I think someone called me ugly, actually, earlier. I was like, "What the hell did I do to you?" Anyway, so this is gonna be the state of Idaho versus Brian, and this is gonna be Brian's, his submission. So this was filed under seal, so we didn't see this until now. Exhibits in support of motion and Lemmy, and it's witness identification by bushy eyebrows. If you are new to this case, which I don't think anybody is new to this case, Dylan saw somebody out her bedroom or bedroom door that night. She cracked it open. She had saw some guy walking towards her, and he appeared to have bushy eyebrows. So comes now Brian C. Koberger by and through his attorney of record and hereby files under seal exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in support and Lemmy. Witness identification by bushy eyebrows. Exhibit 1, she has Noon's narrative report. Exhibit 2, excerpt from Noon's body cam transcript. PPE 16, 17, 20, 21, 28. Okay. They have another exhibit excerpts from Maori interview. They have exhibit 4, pictures taken in DM's room. And that's going to be from 11:13 to 11:19. Exhibit 5, reports regarding search of DM's room. Exhibit 6, excerpts from Gotch interview transcript. Now that I know that was from like the beginning. So that one might be one that we don't need to read through, but if you guys want to, we totally will. And then we have exhibit 7, excerpts from Williamson's interview. The one with Gooch or whatever, it's the one where like I believe of course I don't have it. I believe it's like the first day. It's the one where they're outside. I believe that's the one. So then we have sorry, exhibit 8, a statement from Brett Payne, and that was on 12/29. And then we have exhibit 9, excerpts from Lake interview transcript, and that's from 12:30. And then exhibit 10, excerpts from the grand jury testimony, 5/15/23. Now, I had never seen a case in my whole entire life, and I've been doing true crime for about 5 years now, right? And I've been watching true crime since I was a little kid, right? I've never seen them give up a grand jury testimony. Has anyone else? Let's ask Google. Have they ever put they'll know who they mean. Mhm. Watch, it'll say like OJ or something. It says, yes, grand jury testimony and transcripts are occasionally released, but it's highly rare. Okay, well. Nobody. It's like not saying anybody though. That's crazy. Has anyone else heard of that? Hey, Tiff. Hey, welcome in, everybody. Hey, Lenora. Okay, let me go back over here really quick. Thank you guys all for being here. I do appreciate it. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Also, if you guys don't mind, just smash that like button for your girl. We're getting ready to get into these documents. And once I start reading, I'll forget to ask you to do anything at all. So just do that for me. If I go slow, like if something like my computer goes slow or something, and I start like, I don't know, wigging out on you, doing some weird stuff, just let me know that too. So let's get started. Let's start reading. Okay. So these are going to be all the exhibits, I'm sorry, that they're going to show, that they were going to show if this would have went to trial. Now, I would like to see in total all of the evidence that, Ann Taylor had to go through, because if this is what it is, we could have done this. So, I mean, 3 people could have done this. So let's just say that. Okay, so this is the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney Supplemental Report 22-M09903. This is going to be supplemental number 3, reporting officer Mitch Nunes. And this is the one that they picked out of, that one. So it says watch guard event BWC and for RE, additional responding officers Gunderson, Snyder, and Warner. Case number added to WG, yes. Evidence none. Narrative. Okay, so on 11/13/2022, at approximately 11:56 hours, I responded to an unconscious subject. At 11:22, King Road in Moscow, Idaho. Upon my arrival, I found a large gathering of people in the parking lot immediately north of the 1122 King Road residence. 1122 King Road is a white 3-story single-family residence with multiple bedrooms. The 1122 designation is located directly above the front door facing north. I was directed to a bedroom on the 2nd floor by Hunter I. Johnson, in the northwest corner to locate the unresponsive female. So if you wasn't sure if it was, Ethan he found first or Xana, it was Xana. Upon entering the room, I observed a female lying supine on the floor next to a bed. According to Dylan M. Mortensen, this female was likely Kaylee J. Gonzalez. What? Why the hell would she be there? I'm confused. Okay. If you're Dylan and they're going into the Xana's room, did they misspeak here? Because why would she say, yeah, Kaylee's in there with Ethan? Like, what? I think that they might have like wrote this down wrong, or she misspoke. Because I don't think that she would like say that on purpose. You know what I mean? Like on purpose. But like, what, girl? I think she might have been like all over the place. Do you know what I mean? We got to remember that. So we got to remember, I got to remember that too. This girl was not in her right mind. I mean, none of us would be. None of us would be. Okay. Especially if you're 19, 20, your first time you're leaving home. No. And you're sleeping with your mother still, like because of all this. No. So I think that she probably misspoke, but we'll keep reading it like it says Kaylee. So, I observed dried blood surrounding Kaylee's body and signs of cutting trauma to her face. Kaylee was covered in so much blood, I wasn't able to immediately discern where any additional injuries would have likely been. Kaylee was apparently deceased due to her pale skin color, rigid body tone, and apparent blood loss. On the bed in the same room, I observed Kaylee. I observed a male lying supine to the bed. According to Dylan, the male was likely Ethan J. Chapin. Dylan said Ethan was commonly at the residence. I observed blood covering portions of Ethan's legs surrounding his body and to the bed sheets and drops of blood on the wall near Ethan's head. As I backed out of this room, Hunter showed me a kitchen knife and said he had it in his possession. I told Hunter to leave the knife and go back down the stairs to the front entrance. I think that's smart of Hunter to say that, like in the frenzy of everything, like, hey, I have my, I touched that knife, like, I want to let y'all know. Officer Warner and I moved to visually clear the residence for any suspects or additional victims. On the third floor, Officer Warner and I found 2 additional apparently deceased victims, both lying supine in a bed. This bedroom was on the southwest corner of the 3rd floor. According to Dylan, these 2 females were likely Xana A. Kernodle and Madison M. Mogan. One female showed an apparent traumatic injury to her face due to the basic facial structure being unrecognizable. Both females showed very pale skin. Both females were covered in dried blood and apparently deceased. After the residence was deemed safe, Officer Warner and I exited the residence to secure it and the immediate area, to include the parking lot immediately to the north of the residence. I walked outside and began interviewing Dylan. Dylan told me at approximately 0400 hours, she heard a voice scream and believed it to be Kaylee's. Dylan said she heard Kaylee scream and announced there was somebody inside the residence. Dylan said she could hear Kaylee run from the 3rd floor down the stairs to the 2nd floor into the northwest bedroom. And see, that should have been probably Xana, because Xana would have been running in that direction, right? Dylan said she locked herself in her bedroom and continued to hear a commotion. Dylan said eventually she stopped hearing a struggle and heard a male voice say, "You're going to be fine. I'm going to help you." Dylan said she did not recognize the male's voice. Dylan said after a few minutes, she peeked out her bedroom and observed a male described at approximately 6 feet tall, slim build with a black ski mask leave the 2nd floor patio area. This patio door was likely left open as it was found open upon my arrival. Okay. Wanted to get the chat up here, but it won't let me. Okay, well, fine. I want to see your chat anyway. Look over here. Maybe she thought it was Kaylee. I mean, because I thought it was Kaylee at first. So I interviewed an additional roommate, Bethany G. Funk, who told me that she was at the residence during the commotion. I don't know why they're calling it a commotion. You mean a quadruple murder? Dylan said she was on the 2nd floor in the living room watching Vampire Diaries with Dylan and an unidentified person named Lakeland. Unidentified? You just identified them. Bethany said at approximately 0200 hours on 11/13, Madison and Kaylee came home from a night out at the Corner Club bar located at 202 North Main Street in Moscow, Idaho. Bethany said she also believed Madison and Kaylee went to the Grub Wandering Kitchen truck that was commonly located in the 300 block of South Main Street. Bethany said that she and Madison let Madison's dog out. Did they live together? Are we that confused? So Bethany said she and Madison let Madison's dog out, Murphy. Sometime between 0200 hours and 0230 hours. I'm wondering if maybe she said me and, like, I don't know, maybe Bethany said me and Madison took the dog out, and, like, maybe they just assumed it was Madison's dog. I don't know, but that's weird to put that, so it says here that, Bethany said she returned inside while Madison was still outside with Murphy. Madison said she went to bed around 2:30 hours. Bethany said Madison came into her bedroom sometime after 2:30 hours to ask if she knew where Murphy was. All right. Sorry. Bethany said she told Madison no, and Madison left. Bethany said she woke up in her bedroom, which was located on the first floor, to a sound she described as a firecracker and a flash. Bethany said she initially thought the sound was a prank. And I think that they had said that they thought it was, and I'm not 1,000% sure on this, but it was one of those Glade like plug-in kind of deals, and it had busted or something. I think it like plugged in too long and it was like had a fluid, but I don't know that for sure. That's just what I heard. So that's all. Yeah, who let the dogs out? Well, actually, they did let the dog out. Okay. So then it says, according to Bethany's phone log, she showed me Bethany called Xana at 04:21 hours, Ethan at 04:22 hours, Madison at 04:22 hours, Madison again, Madison again at 04:30 hours, and then Kaylee at 04:31 hours. Bethany said she never received an answer on each phone call. Bethany said she went back to sleep and woke up around 11:56 hours when 911 was called. Okay, to me, this is just what I'm thinking. It doesn't seem like maybe Bethany and Kaylee were extremely close because she calls everybody, even somebody twice, twice before she even tries to get a hold of Kaylee. So maybe they didn't really like know each other that well. Initially, I was told Kaylee was likely located on the second floor bedroom with Ethan. After comparing Dylan's initial statement with other investigations, officers' observations, it appeared to actually be Xana that was located on the floor, that the bedroom, and Kaylee was on the other females. She was one of the other females located on the third floor. Okay, well, I'm glad that they fixed that because that was very confusing. I also observed the following vehicles in the gravel parking lot that was immediately north of 1122 building. A silver 2015 Land Rover, Range Rover with Washington license plate, gives a plate, registered to Jasmine D. Sumner. That's, I believe, her grandmother. But I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Blue 2010 Honda Civic with Arizona plate, registered to Jeffrey K. Kernodle. White 2014 Chevrolet Cruze, registered to Karen Laramie. Red 2011 Jeep Wrangler. It is registered to James E. Chapin. And then the black 2017 Ford Explorer, registered to James E. Chapin. I was originally assigned to identify all of the people in the area. However, I was reassigned by Sergeant Gunderson to begin the search warrant application process. I provided the above information in the search warrant application. At approximately 16:28 hours, I returned to 1122 King Road to assist with securing the southwest patio entrance. That's the entrance they said he fled out of. I took responsibility from Officer Warner in documenting who entered and exited the residence. I provided this documentation on a notepad and maintained the log until I was relieved by Officer Morris at approximately 17:50 hours. The following information is the rear patio entry log from 11:17 hours until 11:15 hours. Okay, so we don't really need to read over this, but these are the people that went in and out. But the prosecutor was there, Ashley Jennings. And then they sealed the door. I still don't know like why they like posted somebody there. I mean, like, I know it's a huge case and a lot of people could go in there and try to break in, right? Okay. There's a lot of huge cases though, and they don't put cops out there for a year and a half. Like they gave them like their own little shelter house, making $600 a day. Usually whenever there's a crime scene and you leave that crime scene, you shut the door, you put your tape on there, and you're done. You walk away. you're good. If that tape and you come back and that tape is broken, then you know somebody entered that residence that wasn't there, shouldn't have been but like shouldn't belong there. And put a camera out there or something. I just think it was kind of crazy, all those people. I was just reading your guys' comments. Thank you for hitting the like. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's keep reading. Okay. I certified or clear. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Date under perjury. So this is transcript of Noon's body cam. And I'm glad that it's 1, 2. It's supposed to be like where we can read it because it's very hard to read. I wanted to go through and highlight these for us, like different colors. And I think I might do that on tomorrow's live. If that'll like make it better for you guys to be able to see, I will do that. Or if anybody wants to come up and read, they could be like another person. I could be a person. We could always do that. Okay. So it says transcript index. There we go. Let's see what we're going to read over. We've got radio dispatch, police via radio, Officer Noons, Officer 1, Officer 2, Officer 3, Officer 4, Officer 5, Officer Ryan, ambulance personnel, female, male. I'm glad we got names there. Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, Hunter Johnson, Jack DeCore, Maisie Chapin. Okay. All right, let's get this started. Oh, Lifetime already did. When is that Lifetime movie coming out? Pieces of crap. Oh, thank you, CDJ. I appreciate that. I want to watch it too. Yeah, they did. They put it out. I don't know if it's out yet. It should be. It's probably so corny. They put one out and it was the corniest movie I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. It's out on like YouTube. They made Ethan look like a 50-year-old man that's like bulky, but not bulky. I'm like, none of these people look like them. I don't know. It was bad. It was the worst acting I ever seen in my life. Okay, so this is 2. Let's go up to 3. So this is between officer dispatch and police via radio, and it's going to have Officer Noons in there and then Dylan Mortensen. So it says radio dispatch, inaudible. What was the second unit going out? Police via radio, inaudible. Police dispatch, inaudible. Not waking up with them. Copy that. I'm just going to read where it says the words. Trying to get a, it says copy. Where is she at? Do you have a defibrillator? Yep. Where is she at? Dylan Mortensen says, yes, we have one. Officer Noons, where is she at? The female. And then an audible, closer, closer. Dylan Mortensen, she says, yes, he's right here. And then Hunter Johnson says something it can't pick up. And then Officer Noons says, where at? You got her up here. Hunter Johnson says, up here. We got a call from them this morning that someone, inaudible. Okay, it says, and that someone, and I just came in to check in here and see what I just found. And I checked to see if she was breathing, and she's dead hard. And I didn't check him yet, but I'm pretty sure. And then Officer Noon says, 13, I think we have a homicide. Okay, get back. And then Hunter Johnson says, I don't know if they are still in here or not. I literally just came here. I grabbed a knife to like, Officer Noon says 1370, which is probably code for we have a homicide. Hunter says, this is the knife that I grabbed. Officer Noons, okay, stay back there, please. I just grabbed, and then Officer Noon says, fuck, let's slow down. Just come here. There's 2, looks like fatalities. Now, this guy is 22. Going in and seeing dead college kids. I couldn't even imagine that. Can you imagine? I mean, working a job that you were the age of the people that are sitting there slaughtered. That would really mess me up. I hope that he gets the help that he needs. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. How do we make it bigger again? It says, "I think he might have killed himself." So it says, "Fuck, dude, I think he might have killed himself." Officer 1 says, "What's he got there?" Officer Noon says, "I don't know. I just see blood up there. I haven't 1370 information." What's 1370 mean? Okay, so in Idaho, that's not right. Police codes. Felony. But this is drunk driving. It's telling me everything but. Um, okay, let's go down here. I think we're on what, 4? Where's 5? 1. Okay, 3, 4. What do we just get? 5? Okay, I guess we go to 13 because 4 is, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, so 4, 13. Okay. So Dylan Mortensen says Marie, she must be spelling her middle name Marie. What's a good number to reach you? And she gives them the number. Okay, and this is your address. Yes. What's that address? 1122 King Road. Okay, is your driver's license for Idaho? Yes. Okay, how much have you seen in there? And she said, not, I don't really know. I just saw my friend lying like that when I called Hunter because we were so scared. Be like, Hunter, can you please come help us? And that's all I saw. And Hunter told us not to go in there. And he says, who's Hunter? That man right there that helped. And it's an audible. Officer Noon says, so Hunter did go in there eventually. Dylan says, yes. And that's when, where we at? Okay, that 14. That's when he told us you need to call the cops right now. We did. And then Officer Noon says, okay, when Jack Decor apparently comes in the picture. Didn't know that happened. Inaudible. Officer Noons, do you mind just waiting over there for me, please? Okay. When now I overheard you talking about last night. I remember that now. Dylan Morton says yes. Officer Noons, okay, you don't have to. The more we know right now, the better. Dylan said that's fine. Officer Noons, start this process. And Dylan says yes. So we will probably be revisiting. That's fine. Very soon again. Okay, that's fine. So just so you probably have to retell the story quite a bit. That's fine. All right. Let me go up here. What do you remember seeing? What started? I remember I was in my room, okay, and I was trying to go to bed and I heard Kaylee, who's Jack's ex-girlfriend, who also has the dog Murphy. Real fast, which one is your room? And she says, Kaylee. And he says, which one is your room? Oh, what room are you in? That floor that the girls are in, it's by the kitchen, same floor that you guys are all on. So this window right here. Yeah, so it's behind the house more. I don't really know how to fully explain it from here. And I think she says, no, no, no. And Officer Noon says, okay, so you were in that room. My room, not Xana's room. And your room it's right next to, and it's an audible, she probably says the kitchen. This one right here, next to the stairs, that one is Xana's room. I'm right next to the stairs. So your second floor room. Second floor, okay. All I heard was all I heard was I heard go upstairs, like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now because she's going upstairs. All of a sudden, and he says, who heard you go, who'd you hear go upstairs? Kaylee and the dog Murphy. And upstairs to the very top, yes, that's where her room is. Okay. And then all of a sudden, I heard her waking up. I heard her scream and she ran downstairs because she saw. I'm sorry, I forgot where I was. She ran downstairs because she said she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she said. She said, "Someone's here," and she scrambled and just ran downstairs. And I called her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Tell me if you guys remember. Do you guys remember? Um, I don't know where it came from. I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was a news agency or if it was somebody stupid that I shouldn't have been listening to or whatever it was. But did you guys hear that Dylan said she knew it was like Kaylee coming down the stairs because Kaylee wears the Doc Martin boots, like those big chunky Doc Martens? And she heard the Doc Martin boots, like, coming down the stairs, like, the heaviness of them, so that's how she knew it was Kaylee and not Xana. But that doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, "Hey, Happy. Hey, Kyra." They did that. Yeah, they turned on the house. Yep, they did. We watched it actually. Right, live. It was sick. 5:45 in the morning, we woke up, and they were already freaking doing it. Didn't even give the family a warning. It's like I hate it here, you know? It's like, who does that to somebody? So we are at okay, where are we at? Down here? Okay. So that's when I'm pretty sure she said there's someone here. She screamed and just ran downstairs and I called her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. Okay, I will say this. Now, I'm not changing my opinion on nothing. But if Dylan was scared, right? I'm just thinking about me if I was scared. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell I'm gonna scream Kaylee's name. I mean, if there is an intruder, right, and you're scared and you're like, "Oh shit, there's an intruder, I'm scared," Kaylee's like screaming and stuff, and you wanna run and lock your door, I wouldn't be saying shit. I keep my mouth closed. I'm just saying, if it's life or death, right? If it's life or death, I mean, and you're scared and you wanna lock your door, you have either 2 options here. You can either lock the door or walk out and save the day, or, you know what I mean, try to save the day. Me, if I was going to be locking my door, I would just be not saying a word. I would be actually, I'd be, like, army crawling over there. I might throw a ball over there and try to get it to close. I don't know, I'd be so scared. I'd be so scared. But that doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, I do say them when things don't make sense to me, I will say that. Okay, then she says, "And then in the bath, I heard someone I think it's in the bathroom, and I heard her crying, and I heard some guy saying that 'You're going to be okay, I'm going to help you.' And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second time, and I saw this guy, and he was not insanely tall, but he was wearing all black and like this mask that was just covering his forehead and mouth. And then I locked the door and I called Bethany, and I didn't know what to do. 6 foot's pretty tall. What do you mean? So then Officer Nunes, it says, "This is at 4 a.m. this morning." Okay, yes. And so then I just ran down. You left here? Even he's like, "You left your room?" Yeah, I left my room down to Bethany's room, which she's that one with the white blinds at the very bottom. Okay. I ran down there and we talked, and we locked the door. We didn't think anything of it. Okay. You did. You thought something of it. Y'all talked about it. Y'all talked about it. Come on now. Y'all talked about what was going on in that house. You locked the door. Nobody locks their door in Moscow. Nobody locks that front door in Moscow. Nobody's locking nothing. Y'all locked the door because you were scared. It's okay to be scared and say, I was scared. I locked the door. Just don't say, oh, we don't know why, you know? And then it says here, like, this is what gets me too. We're like, nothing happens in Moscow. What would you say? Why would you say that? So we just like tried to go to bed and then we woke up and it was weird because none of our roommates were up. I'm gonna say something about that too. I'm sorry, I got a lot to say. We woke up and it was weird because none of our roommates were up. How would they know if their roommates were really awake? Would you really be able to hear from the second floor to the first floor people's little feet, I guess? Little feetsies going, maybe? I don't know. Maybe. They were not waking up. So me and Bethany were like, this is weird. So I called Emily and Hunter to come over, and that's when all this happened. Okay, who lives here with you? Dylan says, me, Bethany, Xana. Officer Noon says, who's Bethany? She done told you, but okay. Bethany's that blonde right there. Who's Xana? Xana is the girl in there. That's sad. Is the girl that? Yes. This one, yeah. Okay, how do you spell her name? Xana. Do you know if she has a middle name? Alexa, I think. Do you know what her name is? He said it. Kernodle. I don't know how to spell it. K, and then, female. It says Kernodle. And then, look, he can't even spell it. Oh, my goodness. That's what all that is. And then Ethan, who's in there, he doesn't actually live here, but he's here like almost all the time. Ethan is the male that lives here, and Officer Noon says, okay, so Dylan says, and then Ethan, who's in there, he doesn't actually live here, but he's here almost like all the time, And then Officer Noon says, Ethan is the male that lives here. I swear, people. I swear, I'm going to come and teach y'all. And then it says, and Dylan says, he doesn't actually live here. He's in the room with Xana, I believe. Like, Officer Noons, come on, man. Officer Noons, he says, he's in there right now. This guy making me laugh. This guy. Did you drink some funky juice before you came to work today? Dylan says, but he doesn't live here, but he's here a lot. And then there's Maddie, Mogan, and Kaylee up top. But I don't know where they're at, though. She still doesn't even know. And he says Maddie, and she says Mogan. He says Mogan. She says Maddie, Mogan, and he cuts her off. Maddie, Mogan, yeah. And who? Kaylee Gonzalez. She's the girl that I was talking about. Kaylee, who I heard her go upstairs and then run back downstairs. Okay. And the guy that lives here, his name was what? Officer Noons. He doesn't live there. He didn't live there, buddy. Stop saying that. He's not, she says, or he's usually here. Ethan Chapin. And you knew he was here this morning. No, I didn't know. I had no idea he was here. Okay, all right. This is number 20, 21. Okay. Describe the guy that you saw. And Dylan says, I don't think he was a bit taller than me. And she's like 5'10", 5'11". She's very tall. And I couldn't really see much of him, but I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit, and he had this mask that was just over his forehead and over his mouth, and he didn't say anything to me like at all. I just shut the door and locked it because I didn't know what to do, and I think he went out like the slide door or the side door the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard. And Officer Noon says, okay. Dylan says, and then I don't know anything else. So I called Bethany and I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you because I don't know where anyone else is. Wouldn't that be a good time to find out? I ain't going to judge. Officer Noons, okay. And then Dylan says, and I called Maddie, I called Xana, I called Kaylee. No one would answer except Bethany. Okay, all right. For Xana, do you know how old she is? She's 20. Is she in a sorority house? Yeah, not anymore. Was that 21? Yeah. Officer Noon says, okay, she's a student of U of I. Yes. Do you have any contact information for her parents? No, Emily, it's okay. Okay. We can. I just know her name. Get that eventually. Dad's name is Jeff. And then Officer Noon says, okay. And then Ethan. And she spells, Ethan's last name. And he says, okay, real fast. She's saying this, and it's inaudible. There's a guy, black mask, was in there. She didn't recognize him. She heard a girl screaming upstairs. She got scared and locked herself in the room. And then the screaming all stopped. She's pretty sure that the masked person went out that back. Now, okay. If you heard, now you got to put yourself when you're 20. 1920. If you heard your best friends, your roommates screaming, and they're probably screaming bloody murder more than I think. The more I think of it, you know what I mean? If they did get some screams out, they got some screams out. Even if you didn't want to open the door, right? And be like, hey, who are you? Because I wouldn't want to do that neither. Why didn't we call 911 and say, hey, I live in this, this apartment that's made into these little, this house made into these little apartments. I think I heard, a roommate of mine scream. I'm totally too scared to go out of my room. Can you please send somebody over to do a wellness check? Bink, bank, bump. They would have been like, yeah, wellness check, sure. My roommate got a wellness check on me one time because he's a freak. He was a freak of nature. And because I let a movie play over and it was playing over and over because I let it go on loop on accident. I was at work. He called the police and had them do a welfare check. I'm okay there, Jim. Oh, we do. Hey, Higgins, let's make up. I miss you. I know. You're a cool part of the channel. I know. I've tried to contact her a couple of times. Thank you for the $4.99. Maybe she'll come back to us. She was here for 3 years. I love her. So it says here. Okay, it says she got scared and locked herself in her room, and then the screaming all stopped. She's pretty sure that this masked person went out the back. Okay, and it says inaudible footprints. Okay, and right now I'm getting all victim information. She knows the other two girls that were up there. I haven't told her who's deceased or anything yet, but is he talking to her right there? What? It sounds like it because they're talking over here and then he's on the phone. It says okay, and then Officer Noon says they have 4 people that are unaccounted for right now, and it says okay, whose dog? We need to figure that out. Somebody's dog. Whose dog? Who owns the dog? Dylan Mortensen says Kaylee and Jack. Jack was the one that was just here. And then female, that's the one that's in the car right now. Officer Noon says, okay. Dylan says, yeah. Tolson is on his way. And it's at Audible. Okay, since she knows a bunch of the people who are all living here, I'm getting all their names and then I'll finish collecting all of their information. Okay. Okay. How old is Ethan? And I apologize. There is a door downstairs next to the bathroom that's got a padlock on it or a lock on it. Do you guys? And it says, we don't know the passcode, Bethany says. I think that's where the little heating unit is, which I don't know why I block that. And it says, we don't know the code. Okay, who has access to that room? Team Idaho. You ran out of your house in Team Idaho? Like, really? If you guys were in high school, seriously, seriously, this is kind of funny, but we're gonna giggle when we can. But you were getting an apartment, right? You're looking on apartmentpass.com and you see, I'm gonna rent you an apartment. My name is Team Idaho. I don't think I would go with it. I think that I would think that was the front. Oh no, you can't scream after a lung stab. Nope, you sure can't. Sometimes you'll be really lucky and you'll black out. Sometimes. And that's what I'm hoping kind of happened here. Um, it says here, okay, so it's not something that you guys normally. It says, yeah, we have no idea what it is. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, so Ethan, how old is Ethan? Ask again. I believe he just turned 20. 20, yep. And it's Chapin, Chapin. Yes, I believe. Okay, do you know what happened to either of their date of birth? Or do you happen to know either of their date of birth? No, I know Emily knows Xana's date of birth. Okay, no worries. And Ethan is also a U of I student. Yes, he is. Noon says, and you don't see him here right now, but you're pretty sure he's in that room. I think so. I think it's what Hunter told me. I don't know for sure. All right. And then the 2 additional roommates aren't here right now. They're not. And oh, sorry, that aren't here with you. Yeah. And what's their names? Maddie Mogan, she spells it. And then Kaylee Gonzalez spells it. I think that's how you spell it. Okay. How old is Maddie? She's 22 or 21 or 22. I can't remember. They're both over 21, but I don't know exactly. And then he says, something inaudible. I think so. How old is Kaylee? Over 21. I believe she's 21 or 22. Sorry, I don't fully remember. And I think she might have been saying that too, like 21, 22, still thinking in her head maybe that there's an unconscious person and she wants to make sure these officers know that she's legal to drink, if that makes sense. Officer Noon says, that's okay. You're doing great. Where's 26? Okay. And she says, thanks. Okay, I'm scared. She says, I'm scared. He says, I'm asking a lot of you. And she says, that's fine. And he says, I appreciate you. And Dylan says, I'll say anything. I don't care. You're doing very well. Okay. Do you know if the other 2 girls are upstairs or no? Right now, what we got to do is we got to process this whole thing. Okay, that makes sense, Dylan said. Officer Noons, I don't know what I'd be permitted to tell you. That's fine. She's handling this a lot better than I would. Officer Noons is right now okay. She says, that's totally fine. I understand. Okay, let's go back. I just want to, okay, she says, make sure we're getting everything. So you're sure about 4:00 this morning? Dylan says, yes, it was 4:00, 4:10. Officer Noons, you first noticed a guy. Well, I first noticed Kaylee go upstairs and scream and run downstairs. So 4:00 this morning, Kaylee went upstairs. Yeah. To the way top. Yes. To her room with Murphy the dog. Okay. And then you heard Kaylee scream. I heard her scream and run as fast as she could downstairs. And she said, someone's here. She ran downstairs. Yes, I could hear, you could hear everything. Inaudible. I heard her run downstairs really fast, and then I heard Murphy barking a lot. And he says, okay. Dylan says, and then I heard her going to the bath. I think it was the bathroom, and I remember her sobbing, and I just remember hearing this guy's voice that I didn't recognize saying, you're going to be okay. I'm going to help you. But it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't like in a nice way. It was like a weird way, like a weird tone, because he's a weirdo. I'll say it. You're going to be okay. I'm going to help you. Dylan said, yes. Officer Noon says, and you didn't hear anything from Kaylee anymore. She said, no. At that point, after that, I didn't hear anything. Okay, Officer Noon says. Dylan says, so then I kept calling her name. I called her on my phone. I called Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee. None of them answered. So then I opened up the door to look, and that's when I saw the guy pass by. He looked at me, but he didn't come towards me or say anything. which was really confusing to me. I don't understand that, and I'm pretty sure he went out the side door. And that's Dylan's story. Thank you so much, Ladybug. Oh, I'm so glad you're back. Thank you for reading this. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm back. Hey, Miss 101. They were all very young. These officers were very young, yeah. Officers in my town are super young too. Okay, so I told you a little bit about my friend. I had a friend that I pretty much lived with him like for a good 2 years. I dated a guy and he just wouldn't leave. But it's okay. But they were all corrections officers and stuff, and he became a cop. It was his dream to become a cop, and he ended up having to shoot somebody. It was just it was what he had to do. You know, it was either his life or their life, right? And like he took it really hard, super hard. I have never seen anybody take something like that hard. Like I don't know anybody that's done that other than him, but you know, like he was messed up for a long time. And he didn't go back to work for a long time either because he was like, I'm good. Like it was bad. He's doing a lot better though. So we're on what, 29? Yeah. Okay. So it says, and then I called Bethany, and Bethany said she thought maybe there was a fire or like a firework. We didn't know. We heard this. She heard this loud noise, and there was a light, I guess. Did you hear it like a pop, like a bang? And Dylan says, I don't know. Did you hear a bang, Bethany? And then Officer Noon says, it's what she heard. And she says, okay, that's what she heard. I didn't. We'll talk to Bethany. Okay, never mind, Bethany. Just stay there. I didn't hear that. And then says, hey, where are you going right now? Officer Noon says, the male says, I'm just going to pick up my friend. Officer Noon says, okay, male and audible. Officer Noon, where's your friend live? 500, probably 500 queen or king, but Officer Noon says, okay, can you go around to the left, please? Yes, I can go around. Okay, that's an audible. And then Dylan says, I don't think I ever heard a bang. I didn't think anything about a fire or firework. Well, she wasn't down there when it happened, supposedly. So, or gunshot or anything. Dylan says, until I called her, I don't think I heard anything of that, but I also was kind of in and out of it because I was so scared and I was really tired. And that's when I called Bethany and I told her, I need to come to your room because she was the only one that was answering me. So I just ran down there. And for a second, I stopped and saw Xana passed out and thought maybe she was just like sleeping or something. I didn't think anything of that because I was so out of it. And then I went into Bethany's room and we just fell asleep. And then we woke up in the morning and no one was waking up at all. Like no one was answering, which was really weird because all of us wake up around like 9 or 10. Officer said, uh-huh. She said, and then I called Emily, who brought Hunter to come check. And Hunter came here first, and I told him what happened. And then he looked in the room and he said, you need to get out and call up here, call the cops. Okay, that guy that you saw, I know it was dark, right? Were there lights on? And Dylan said, I think there were lights on in the house. You know, the ones there on the wall. He says, okay, I don't really know what he looked like because he had a mask on, but he wasn't like super tall. How tall are you? I'm 5'10". I think he was maybe my height, an inch or two higher or lower. I couldn't really remember. I love this about her. She's so tall. She's like 6 foot ain't nothing. Shoot. I'm 5'10", 5'11". You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That makes me kind of like laugh. So he says, so about 6 foot, I think so, around there. Okay, how was he built? Fat, skinny, stocky, more like skinny, but like basketball player kind of skinny. Not like too skinny, but like almost fit skinny in a way. That's what I think. I don't know for sure. Okay, and then the voice he said when he said those words, you know, you didn't recognize that voice before. And she says, no, I didn't know. I didn't recognize him or his voice. I mean, I also couldn't see him, but I didn't recognize that voice at all. Okay. Didn't even cross my mind who that could be. Officer Noon says, "Did you guys have a party last night?" Or not tonight, but there was a Sigma Chi party and we had like a formal thing beforehand that was 2 days ago. Sorry, 2 days ago. Okay, is there anything that popped out about that event that was concerning? No, I mean, I went to Sigma Chi because Ethan, he is a Sigma Chi and Xana and him are dating and Xana went there and I was there for a little bit. And then I went to my friend Allie's house down the street and then I came back home with my friend Lake and Bethany. Everything was fine, nothing weird at all, nothing suspicious until the 4 o'clock. Officer Noon says, "Okay, all right. I don't think I have any more questions for you right now." Dylan says, "Okay, if you do, it's fine. Somebody else will be talking to you." Okay. Someone else will be talking to you. This is the transcription of audio file. And it is going to be Detective Mallory and Dylan, I believe, the whole time. I think. Okay. What page are we on? I wanted to see something. Okay, never mind. This is good. Stay here. So Mallory interviews Mortensen, Johnson, McClure, Beck, transcript. Okay. So for Detective Mallory, I'm just gonna say Detective M. Is that okay with everybody if I say Detective M? That was just easier, just easier to do it that way. Hey RJ. And welcome in, everybody. Hey, Marcella. Welcome on in. Okay. So, Dylan, or Detective M. All right. My name is Lawrence. Oh, okay. We're using first name. Hi, I'm Dylan. Dylan, yeah. How do you spell your first name? She spells it. Okay. And if everybody actually spell it the common way, inaudible. It is spelled the common right way, isn't it? Uh, maybe that's what she means. What's your middle initial, M, and what's your last name, Mortensen? And what's your date of birth? She was born in 2003. She was born the year before I graduated. Crazy. And what is a good phone number for you? She gives the number. Okay, you've got your phone with you. And she says, yeah. Do you have any pictures, any videos, or anything like that? Any social media post? She says, no. Okay. And what's a good address? Oh, wait. Shit, I think I went the wrong way. I did. Sorry. 3, 2. I went the wrong way. So we're supposed to go 1. Just remember these are the names. So then we went 3 and then 4. Okay. Sorry about that. Do you have any pictures, any video or anything like that? Any social media post? No. Okay. What's a good address for you? Like just somewhere where you are living right now? Are you here at the university? Do these cops not know anything? Did they, I mean, really, they could have. They could have just sent them over there. Like, get your butts over to 1122 King Road. That we got 4 dead people. And they just showed up, like, because that's what it feels like. It feels like training day over here. The way they keep asking the same questions and stuff. So it just says here, okay, just somewhere where you are living right now. She's like, yeah, 1122 King Road. The house you're at. What house is that? Oh my God. He asked her that. Y'all. Y'all. When you're okay, if you're an officer, right? You're an officer of the law, you are in your patrol car, let's say. They say, psh, 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 I can't do it. Breaker, breaker, 19, breaker, breaker, are you there? We've got a quadruple homicide at 1122 King Road, Moscow. Get your butts over there, right? And then he asked her not only where she lives, which I can understand that, right? 1122 King Road, she says. And then he says, what house is that? And she says, what do you mean? That's the best response. And he says, is that an apartment or a sorority? Are you kidding? It's a house. What? Okay, I don't know the sorority. There's no sorority. She said, oh, okay. I don't even know if there's any that's there. Yeah. She said, yeah. She's like being short with him. Okay, so tell me what you know. Dylan says, okay, so we were there at Sigma Chi party. Obviously, we were drinking. I left to go to my friend's house, Allie. When was that party? He says. She says, I think I went there around like 10:30ish last night or this morning. Why would she go there this morning? The party? Last night, and then I went to Allie's house, and then me and my friend Lake came home, and then Bethany came home from Sigma Chi, and then Lake walked home, and we all just went to bed. Detective M says, Allie, Lake, and Bethany. Dylan says, yeah, Allie was the house we went to for a little bit, and then it was just me and Lake who came home, and then Bethany came home a little bit later. Detective M says, okay, is Lake a girl or a boy? She's a girl. Okay, and they're all on the same place. Lake is a Pi Phi. She is in the Pi Phi house. Me and Bethany are the roommates. And he says, okay, Lake or just you and Bethany are roommates. And she says, just me and Bethany are roommates. Okay, got it. So you guys were there. You came home early. She says, yeah. And then eventually Allie, Lake, and Bethany all showed back up at your house. Dylan said, not Allie. Allie stayed at her place. Detective Mallory says she stayed at her place. Where does she live? She lives down the street. I don't know exactly where it is. Okay. And then Maddie and Kaylee came home from the club, and then we all went to bed. What time do you think you got home? I think I got home around 12:30 to 1 o'clock. Okay. In between there. And then what time do you think Bethany came home? Like 10, 20 minutes after I did. Okay. And then Maddie, who else came home? Kaylee, they came home around like 1:32ish. Detective Mallory says, okay. And at that point, nothing. Dylan says, nothing weird at all. Detective Mallory says, okay. Dylan says, then everyone's asleep at 4 a.m. I look at my phone and I can hear Kaylee and Murphy like dancing because I could tell it's her voice, and it's Murphy because he's barking. See, why would he be barking if they're playing? And then I hear her go upstairs because you can hear like everything. And I hear her say there's someone here, and I thought she ran downstairs, and then I jumped up and locked my door because I didn't know what else to do. Detective M says, okay, so Kaylee and Murphy. So Jack and Kaylee and Jack. Jack is Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. They share the dog pretty much. Detective Maury says, and Murphy's the dog. Yeah. Okay. What is Kaylee's last name? Concalves. Oh boy, spell that for me. And then she does. And is she here today? No. Was she one of the ones that was hurt? I think let's just go straight down. Yeah. Dylan says, yeah. He says, okay. Where is Kaylee's room compared to yours? Like right above mine. Are you on the second, and she's on the third? Yeah. Okay. And you said that Kaylee and Jack share Murphy. Yeah, but Jack doesn't live with us. And is Jack an ex? Yes. Current? Yes. He's an ex right now. Okay. Any problems between Kaylee and Jack? No, they're really, and he says, okay, good, like friends still. Does Jack come over and still play with the dog and stuff like that? Every now and again, then yeah. And Detective Mowry says, okay. So you hear Kaylee upstairs dancing and playing with the dog. Normal. So see what I think. I personally think that Kaylee was in her own bed that night. Do I have that picture like right here? Handy? I bet you I do. I probably don't. I don't want to like exit out of this though. There's the picture. Let me just go over here. I know I got it somewhere. But there is a picture, and it's not going to be News Nation. It's going to be Fox. But there's a picture of her room. Let's see if I can find it. And it looks like the bed is turned down. Like so when you make your bed and you're in your bed, you're all like, you got your blankets up, and then someone calls for you, you do like this number and you just fold down that like piece of the bed. Like if you make your bed, if you don't, it's just all over the place. But I got it. Hold on. So I have to use my powers. Because I've been thinking this the whole time. That she was like in her own bed and that I think that maybe Kaylee and Maddie were in their own beds. They had their doors kind of open and they were both calling Jack and giggling and talking. And then that's how they like went to bed. Because in my mind, I mean, like, why would you sleep with somebody? I mean, I'm sure they slept together all the time, but like, well, why would you sleep with somebody if you can have all that room in your own bed? I was thinking about that the other day. So this is her bedroom. They don't let me share the tab. Okay, I zoomed in. So you can see like the blankets kind of like over to the side right here. Now, I don't know. It's just what I think. It's just what I think. I think she personally was in her own bed. You know, sleeping in her own bed. I don't know. But she could have been. I mean, now, would you want to sleep on the inside though? Are you an inside kind of gal, an outside gal, or male? Like, you know what I mean? When you go to sleep, because she was against the wall. I don't think I'd want to sleep against the wall. I don't think I want to do that. Why does it keep ruining, like losing things with my audio? I don't need audio, but okay, let's go back. I just wanted to show you that. But, I mean, I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. Okay. I'm going to grab my drink really quick, if that's okay with everybody. Why is my computer going slower than molasses? Okay. I mean, I don't think molasses goes that slow, but we're going to exit out of everything. Okay. Just making sure, like over here, making sure that the thing's okay. Like, see, I just pressed the camera and now it's like gone. Okay, that's so weird. Go. Oh, there. I just had this sitting on my desk. I thought I had this. Hold on one second. I don't necessarily think there's a cover up. I just think, sorry, that's that's me pouring a soda in my cup because I'm be needing me a soda tonight. I don't think it's a cover up per se. I think these officers were just very inexperienced. And I mean, as soon as they got this crime scene, they called ISP, which that's like the FBI for their state. You know what I mean? Like they called in the state police, like, hey guys, we can't do this without you. We, like for real. So I think that if there was a cover up, I think they would have had to have started with Moscow and then the Moscow police would have had to have gone to ISP and got someone from ISP, all of those people that worked for ISP to agree to their conspiracy thing, or you know what I mean, to their idea. And then you got to go to the FBI and get them to agree. Then you got to go over to Pennsylvania and get Pennsylvania police and Pennsylvania state police and the marshals to agree. You think you could get that many people to agree to put this on to Brian Koberger? I mean, it's Brian Koberger. You guys give him more credit than he deserves. Not you, but some people do. They give him way more credit than he deserves. They're like, he didn't do it. I'm like, let him move in with you. Let him stay with your teenage daughter and see how good you feel about that. I mean, that's what I would say. Okay, so I want to make sure I can read this everything here. So okay, so it says, and then she says, there's someone here yet. when she goes, I can hear her go upstairs, and then I think she's in her room and she says that someone's here, and I can tell she's scared and she runs downstairs. So she thinks she's in her room. I mean, if this is Kaylee, where do you think she ran? I don't know if she ran past the stairs, okay, or if she's in the living room. Okay, but you heard her on the stairs. Yeah, I heard her running like super fast downstairs. Okay. And then I didn't open the door. I just heard her name and I had called Xana, Kaylee, and Mogan on my phone. And then what was the other names? Xana, Maddie, Mogan. Sorry, we call Mogan is Maddie and Kaylee. Okay, so do you know what Xana's last name is? Kernodle. She already spelled it for the other guy, I think. Okay, what about Maddie? What about Kaylee? That's the same one. Yes. Okay. Okay, where these three friends? Yeah, okay. Oh, were these three friends? She says, "Yeah, we're all roommates." Okay, who was sharing the room with Kaylee? Kaylee and Mogan are both upstairs. They have their own rooms. Yeah, we all have our own rooms. Okay, so these are two up on the third. And she says, "Yeah. Where is Xana? That's my floor, your floor. She's closest to the bathroom on my floor. She's by the bathroom." Okay, so Jack and Kaylee are not an issue. No, they're not at all. What about for Xana or Maddie? Are there any guys that are an issue? Any girls that are an issue? No, Maddie has a boyfriend, Jake, who's in Boise, super nice. Okay, Xana is dating Ethan, who was in the room with her. They're really nice too. Okay, I apologize. I don't know anyone's name. That's okay. Or anything like that. So was Ethan, Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee all still upstairs? And those are the ones that got hurt. I'm glad he apologized, that he doesn't know anyone's name. I mean, that says something. Those are the ones that got hurt. Okay. And then Bethany, the other girl that's here, she's on the first floor. Okay. And Bethany, was she the one in the yellow hoodie? Dylan said, yeah. Okay, so she's over there. So anybody that would want to hurt Ethan or that's just jealous of Ethan? No, nothing like I've never heard anything. Any cars that were in the area that you think that wouldn't have been normal? No, I wasn't really looking at that. Like, who looks at that really? Like, unless you live in I mean, I guess I live in a small spot, but I don't know. Like, unless you live in a housing development, I can see my parents noticing that. You know what I mean? I don't know. So then he says, "Okay, and you didn't see anybody come downstairs. Did you hear anything?" No, I don't even know how they got in. We're pretty good about locking doors and we've never had problems before. It was just really random. Okay, so you get home around 12:31. Yeah, you've got Maddie who comes home or Bethany, sorry, comes home shortly after you. Yeah, Maddie comes home shortly after that. And then from that point, from about 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, did you fall asleep? Yes, I fell asleep. Sure about that? Okay. And Kaylee also came home with Maddie at the same time from the club. So between that time, obviously, you're not hearing anything. You had something to drink. So, yeah. Obviously, you're going to sleep a little bit deeper, right? Yeah. Okay. And then you hear her. She says what she says. You hear her hitting the stairs. You open the door, cry out to her. Yes. And then you close the door because you're scared, right? Yes. I wonder if Koberger heard her. You know what I mean? Because he could have been in a frenzy, stabbing two women to death and maybe didn't hear, but you would think that he would have heard. And then he would have went downstairs and been like, that's the next one. Maybe he heard and he thought it was Xana. I mean, that could be it. I don't think she was a known sleepwalker, but I do think that she was in her room and I think that she heard something. And then when she heard something, she went into into Maddie's room. This is what I picture. This is sad, but I picture their doors are open a crack, and she can hear something going on in Maddie's room, right? Something going on over there, like something that doesn't sound right. So she gets up, she takes the blanket, throws it over, gets out of the bed, goes into Maddie's room. I don't even think she was in Maddie's room. I think she was in her door frame, and she saw that there was a man in there that wasn't Jake, and he had a knife, and I think she just ran and to help her best friend. Sisters for life, right? And I think that's what happened. I really do. That's just, I mean, my personal opinion. Okay, I'm trying to see where we were, because I'd be forgetting. 13, 14. Okay. What happens at that point? I opened the door again, and I heard what I thought was Kaylee crying in the bathroom, and I heard this man's voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." But it wasn't like in a nice way, like it was just weird, and it was a voice I never heard before. Okay. And then I called out to her, and there was no crying after that. I don't really know what happened after that. So you opened the door, you thought you heard Kaylee crying in the bathroom. Yeah, but it could have been Xana, but I thought it was Kaylee at the time. Okay, I don't know if these questions really help anything. And you said that you don't recognize the voice. And Dylan says no. And then I open the door again, and the guy is right there. And he's maybe my height, a few inches taller, not like skinny, athletic build. He has all black. He's wearing this mask that covers just his forehead and here. And it goes like around. He was white. He saw me, and I saw him, and he just left. He was probably exhausted. Okay. And he was holding, it looked like it was like this and this. It was black, and I didn't think that it was a gun, but now I'm thinking that it probably was. But I was just in and out of it because I was so tired. You think he brought a gun with him just in case, little just in case gun? A little just in case the stabbing doesn't work out, because I mean, his boss did say he sucked a stabbing, I mean, at fillet and fish, so maybe. But that wouldn't be cylinder-like. I guess unless it had maybe a silencer on there. She said, Detective Mallory says, "When you say this, what do you?" And then Dylan says, "Like it was a cylinder, like this, and then it went straight out and then in." So I don't know exactly. Almost like an arrow? Yeah, kind of. What the? I swear, I'm gonna figure this out. We need to figure it out. What could this be? An arrow? I think he took whatever it was from Xana's room. I think it was something. Okay. He kills everybody, right? So he goes to the first person, Maddie, to kill. He doesn't have a belt on because he don't know what he's doing, okay? He does, but he doesn't. So he takes his knife out of the sheath like a badass that he thinks he is. He sits the sheath down, and then he puts his knee on that bed because there is a void right there. And that's when he stabs her. And that's when, he goes to town. What was I going to say now? It was something about the knife. Damn, I forget what I was going to say about that damn knife. Let me read the chat, because I know it was something in the chat. Maybe not. So, okay. So he stabbed Maddie. Then he goes over to Kaylee, stabs her. Then he hears somebody coming up the stairs. Well, Dylan says, she can hear somebody either going down. She says down the stairs, but I'm thinking it's more up the stairs, because I'm thinking that Xana heard what Dylan heard, right? I think that they both heard their roommates crying out. And I think that Xana was the one that decided to go up there and see what was going on. And I think that's why she ended up being killed, personally. We're talking about the cylinder. That's what it was. I just don't know what the cylinder was. No, audio does lie, Ladybug. Audio lies so bad. We had this when this case first started. We had a YouTuber that had over 600,000 subscribers, so people trusted him. People still trust him. And he took audio. He took audio from the Banfield incident, right? From Banfield. And then he took audio from a domestic violence incident. He inserted that into this audio and said that it was Kaylee. Do you know how long people ran with that? For months. Do you guys remember that? It was insanity. It was Joseph Morris, I think is his name, that did it. So if there is audio out there that sounds funky, make sure you just do your due diligence. I'm just telling you guys, because people can slip anything into. I could do it right now and show you. I mean, it's easy as pie. So just be careful what you hear, because people are wanting you to hear certain things. They really are. Because if this case dies for them, they don't have another case. Think about it. Think about all the people that are covering this case. How many people have another case that they could fall back on? I'm just saying. Just saying. I'll get back to reading. So then it says here, I think that we were at the end of this, maybe. Yeah, almost like an arrow. It was weird. I call it like a mini vacuum. I don't really know what it was. And it says, okay. And you say about your height, how tall are you? I'm 5'10", so he's probably around 6 foot. She hit that right on the nail. So he's going to be average height. Yeah, any of the girls at all, in the house get any kind of freak weirdness going on in the last couple of weeks that they talked about? No, it's been all normal, nothing weird at all. No weird calls, no text, no, nothing weird happens in Moscow usually. He says, right, okay, so, and I apologize. And then detective says, back up just a little bit because everything's going to be jumbled up here, and I totally get that. So he says, yeah, so you heard her dancing, and you hear her say, somebody's here. She goes, sounds like she goes to the stairs. You open the door, call to her, close the door, and then you go to open the door because you and her hear her crying. And she says, yeah. Or at least somebody, yeah. Might not have been her. Okay. So she opens the door because she hears crying. You open the door, you call to her, you close the door, and then you open the door. Like, I don't know, make up your mind. Might not have been her, and then you close the door. I think that's where we're supposed to be at. Yep. And then reopen it before you saw him. Yeah, I closed it before I opened it and saw him. From the time you heard her say there's someone here to the time that you saw him, how much time do you think? I don't know. I think it was like around 10, 20 minutes. Okay. I mean, I was really not long. I was really out of it. Everything was kind of blurry. Like, I don't fully remember, I would say. Okay. So help me figure out where, like I said, I haven't been into the building. Where was if this is an audible layout, where would your apartment be? And you know what? I was thinking, like, you know how time goes slower when you're in a car accident, time slows down before you hit that, you have that impact. That might be something that she's feeling right now, like the crime may have only taken 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but in her mind, that was 10, 20, 30, 40, that was excruciatingly long, right? I could see that. So, it says here, Let's find, she wants to figure out where her room is. So it says, I guess, like, so the door's right here. And then Detective Mowry goes, this is the apartment or that hallway. We gotta go down. Whoops. Dylan said, it's like a house. Okay, it's a whole house. There's stairs that go up diagonally like this. Okay. Living room. You're looking at the living room. To the right is the bathroom and Xana's room. Right in front of you is my room and the stairs. On the second floor, right? Yes. So you had the stairs that are here. Yes. On the second floor, you've got the bathroom here. Bathroom and Xana's room here. And it says, yeah, my room and Audible, like right in front of it. Okay. And there's a kitchen. So there's a kitchen. Then there's stairs that you go up to the second floor. Detective Mowry says, okay, that's up. Dylan says, and then Kaylee's room is on, going up the stairs. Kaylee's room is on the left, up at the top right. Yes, up top. And Maddie's room is on the right. And there's also a bathroom next to Maddie's room. So your door faces stairs going down to the bottom. It faces more like you can see them when you look out, but it's not totally facing. It's more like facing like this. Okay, so your door is more over on this side. Yeah, and then I could see like the window door that slides open back there. Okay, and you opened your door. Yeah, where was he at? In between my door and the kitchen, I think. Okay, and then I saw him go out the door and leave. Okay. Okay. And he says, out the kitchen door? Yeah, and I just remember saying like, no, 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 and I shut the door and locked it as fast as I could. Why would she say no, 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 no? I mean, I don't know, it's hard. Where the hell did I see that? Where were we at? Okay. Detective Mowry says, okay, so this is there a deck out back? It's like cement and there's like no fence, so I guess anyone can come in on the inaudible. He says, so is the bottom floor kind of like a daylight basement so you can come in that door and then, yeah, she says, go back up one. Yeah. Okay. So 5'10", all black. Did you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that? Okay. So he brings up the old eyebrows. I would have been like, what was eyebrow? You know what I mean? Like eyebrows. That's craziness. That could be true. Yeah. Okay. So it says here. And don't let me forget to tell you guys at the end, I have a really, really, really good live for you on my second channel coming up. I would stop. I would know. Okay. So it says, so the bottom floor is kind of like a daylight basement. And she says, yeah, go back up to one, 5'10". Did you see what color his eyebrows were? Anything like that? No, I don't remember what his eyes look like either. Okay. So she says no in the beginning. Okay. He didn't say anything to you. And then she says, I mean, I saw his eyes and he saw me, but he didn't walk towards me and I didn't say anything. Okay. And then Dylan said, which I found was really weird, but didn't recognize eyes and definitely a white guy. Yeah, definitely a white guy. Okay. And he smells anything like that would be weird. Huh? Like, or anything like that would be weird. Huh? Uh-huh. Okay. After he left, what happened? She says, I called Bethany and Bethany was like, I heard what sounded like a firework and I didn't like put the two and two together. And so I told her like I called everyone and they're not answering. And I'm in and out of it. I don't really think anything of it. I just think everyone's asleep and I go to her room. We lock the door and just go to bed. Why'd you lock the door? Was that something that you always did? Yeah, I was wondering. My stream went down. We're all here. Okay. Let me know if I'm like, you know, zipping out or anything on you guys. Like, Campus Bloom. Okay. Okay, so then it says, okay, and that I really know it was Bethany saying that there was like a loud boom, but I didn't hear it. Okay, and I don't really know how I didn't because I was on that floor, because you were just right below it, because you were just like right below it. Well, Bethany's below me, and Xana and me are on the same floor. So like Xana and me stay on the same floor. Oh, I gotcha. Like I would say, come here, give me a piece of paper and a pencil, and I would be writing this out for them. Dylan said, down here, and this is Bethany. So Xana in between the bathroom and the kitchen. It says, yes, pretty much. There's like a wall and there's a kitchen, Xana's room, bathroom. Okay, anybody else on your floor? No. And the downstairs on the first was Bethany? Yes. And then up on the third was Allie? No, Allie doesn't live with you. Uh-huh. Lake was in Pi-Fi, Kaylee and Maddie, Dylan said. Detective M says Kaylee and Maddie, those are both on the third. Yeah. Similar layout where one bedroom is over the other. Yeah. So Kaylee's room is here, bathroom in the corner, and then Mogan's room. Okay. So Mogan would be over Xana's room. Yes. Ish. Yeah, I would think so. And then these are photos taken from Dylan's room. I had to get it. So the artwork on wall photo 1 taken 11/19/2022. I don't see anything weird with people liking eyeballs. I mean, people like all kinds of weird stuff, right? I don't like eyeballs. I'm missing one, you know? They freak me out. But if you were to be getting your eyebrows done, let's say you're getting, them done, I might draw some pictures of some eyebrows. I mean, they're good pictures, damn. Tell us, Mandy. You tell us, Mandy. It says on serendipity, on Los Angeles, on introversion again, on friend churn. I don't get it. Okay. And then we got this one. Now this lady looks a little mean. She a little mean. She got a little neck tattoo and shit. Is she supposed to be her? I don't know. On hugs, on confetti, on confidence, sorry, and humility, on love. Okay. And then we got this one, just a girl in college. I don't know. I have to blow my nose. Where'd that cat put my tissues? They're still there. She usually knocks them off. I'm gonna mute myself for just a second. Yeah, no, there's a lot of people that have taken this case and decided to not go over the documents, not go over the facts of the case. And then they tell everybody, right? They'll say something to you guys. They'll say, Brian Koberger is innocent, right? Okay, right? Anybody that says right after every word, they're not right. They're trying to convince you to be on with them. Right? Right? Like, right? Right? We're cool, right? Don't believe those people. Just stick with us. We'll tell you the truth. I promise you we will. We read every document. We do it all. So this is looking out the door of Dam's room. And we also, wish we had this still. We had this interactive house that you could go through for the Idaho 4. You can turn off the lights. You could do all this really like nice things if you're wanting to know about the case, right? If you're wanting to know about the layout of the house in the case, it was really good information to have. But they took it off their website. I don't know if because Brian was convicted or what, but it sucks that they did that. So then this is another picture looking out of her room. Which is let me see this one. Oh, I want to see it cracked, which we've seen it on the other house, or on the other thing, but we haven't seen it on this. So this is the search for Dylan's room because, they have to have a search warrant. And it just says from 11/19 and on November 19th, 2022, Idaho State Police, ISP, Detective Joe Lake conducted a search as part of a lawfully obtained search warrant for 1122 King Road, Moscow, Latah County, Idaho, of surviving victim Dylan Mortensen's bedroom. The FBI, tactical specialist Carrie Hadaway, and other members of the investigation team were present. I collected photographs of the bedroom, wow, the bedroom and identified items which were seized by the crime scene lead ISP Detective Jeff Talbot. Why did they? We know her date of birth. Okay. Photographs of Dylan's bedroom. That's all it says. This is when they didn't take anything. And then remember they came back and they're like, can we get that pillow or can we get the blanket, the jacket from you? And it's not like a photo album or something stupid. I was like, oh my God, you already gave it to her. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you gave it to her, it's probably not going to be able to be used now. It's contaminated. So narrative on November 19th, 2022 at approximately 2:20 p.m., I searched Dylan Mortensen's bedroom with FBI T.S. Hadaway, while other members of the investigation team, including crime scene lead ISP Detective Talbot, were present. Mortensen's bedroom is the most centrally located room within the residence. During the time of the quadruple murder, Mortensen reported she witnessed the murder suspect, later identified as Brian C. Kohlberger, at close proximity while she stood in her bedroom doorway. ISP forensic scientist and had identified a bloody shoe print outside of Mortensen's bedroom believed to belong to Kohlberger. Upon entering Mortensen's room, I photographed the bedroom with an emphasis upon her wall hangings and artwork. While conducting a search of her bedroom, the following items were noted or seized. See ISP Detective Talbot's evidence forms for seized items. The bedroom had a low amount of alcohol compared to the other first and second level bedrooms within the residence. There was a myriad of personal items, notebooks, and textbooks consistent with the college student. Artwork of human figures with an emphasis upon the eyes and eyebrows were pinned to corkboards along with fashion cutouts for magazines. A letter from Mortensen's sorority big sister Emily, later confirmed to be Emily Adelant, was in a clear plastic shoebox in the bedroom closet. A personal diary journal was located on the vanity within the bedroom. A sorority accountability voting letter was located in the black backpack, which was under the bed. I concluded the bedroom search at approximately 3:50 p.m. And then it says item tags. Item 01, photograph of Dylan's bedroom. Let me see here where we are. Okay. How long is this? I think this is kind of long. We're on page 25. I'm just seeing how long I think this one's like pretty long, so I might do this one tomorrow. Yeah, this one's long. Let's just see how long. Because they had, like, there's so much more, like, oh my goodness, we're going to learn so much stuff that we have not even heard of. Like, when I was skimming through, I was like, okay. So that one's 270. Okay. 25. Okay. What are you trying to do to me? I was just checking something really quick. I don't need maps. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Because this document is 145 pages. Can you believe that? So I think we'll read twice as much tomorrow. Twice as much tomorrow. And it's Friday. So if we once we hit 25,000 subscribers on this channel, we are going to have to do a giveaway. Okay. It's just going to have to happen. So we'll be doing that. Oh, look, I should have pulled my hair back. So you see my pretty, where's it at? My pretty flowers. My hair always covers up everything I wear. If you guys don't mind, yeah, hit the like button for me. Also, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat really quick. I'd be more than happy to go over some questions with you guys. Or if anybody wants to come up on panel for a minute, you can do that. If you want to come up and be like, hey, this is the reason why I don't think that Brian Koberger did this. I mean, we are not going to yell at you. I promise. I don't do that. I retired. I'm retired. Really, Mandy? You don't even have an ex? Are you with the same partner? Like you've been with the same partner? Oh my god, smoke first. This is stressful. I love you guys in the chat. Yeah, he did do his boxing. I used to run though for fun. I know it's weird. Not weird to say that running for fun, but it was fun. And I'm actually I know someone's gonna be like, I can't believe you talked after your life. But I actually today, okay, so when I was in high school, don't you judge me, okay? When I was in high school, I smoked the old cigarettes. It was back in the day. 15 years I smoked. I quit 10 years ago. I've been clean tobacco free 20 years or 10 years now, even longer, like 12 years, something like 12 or 14, but really altogether 10 years. I ran in high school, I ran a 13-minute mile. Now don't judge me for that. You had to run at least 13-minute mile to graduate, and that's what I did. And then I walked off that track and I about died. Today, I ran under. Wait, it was 15 minutes and like 51 seconds or something like that. I was pretty proud of myself for that. I'm proud of myself. I might not be the fastest runner in the world, but I got metal in my legs. I'm not even supposed to be running. Well, not supposed to be. They said you might not be able to run. Well, you might be able to you better shut your mouth, lady. So I'm running. You think his parents knew everything? I mean, really, how could they not know something if their mother, father, and he's always calling them? You know? Well, I still smoke that. Mhm. Just not the cigarettes. I think that, yeah, Kathy, I think so too. I think that he told his father. Your body's metal too? Well, Mandy, hello, me too. Hello, metal sister. I have actually, somebody was in my comments and they were asking me if I had metal. And I'm like, yeah, that's where I got the name. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing with this channel at first, but I did because we were true crime when I did Titanium Bill, didn't I? Pretty sure. I just made that up one day. And then one of you guys told me to call you guys the Titans. And I was like, that's such a cute name. I can't remember who said that. I'm so appreciative of you guys all being here, though. I heard about Montgomery and I wanted to punch somebody in the face. I'm not in the mood today. Go check out my comment section. It was like not the day. Adam Montgomery. Can he just seriously, seriously, can he just go die somewhere? He killed his daughter. Not only did he do that, But he left her in the ceiling. He left her in a tote bag in the car seat with her or the stroller with her sister. I mean, it and now he's gonna get a new trial. I cannot believe it. I really can't. I can't. I mean, between him, Alec Murdaugh, Letitia Stout, what are we? What the hell are we going? Are we? Is this deja vu? This is deja vu. You got rods in your back. See, Felicity even has some. Wow. Too many people are getting new trials. We all heard Alec Murdaugh on that Snapchat video. Well, that's a chicken. I think that was his wife that said that. It sounded like him. It's crazy. So we'll be hitting them back up, you know? Metal does suck. It does. My right wrist has been hurting and there's no metal there. And so I'm like, I don't know if I can actually like technically put that as like happening from my accident because my accident was technically 12 years ago. But I think they just think everything on my body is accident related. I don't know. Oh, Colleen, I was so mad I didn't even talk about it. I didn't even tell Vincent about it. Me too, Mandy. Yep, just as much. I hate Letitia Stalking. You know, there's just some when you hurt kids, there's a special place in hell for you. And it's not fun. It's not the party side, you know, where you're just burning a little here and there. No, you're frying over here, buddy. I still think I'm 15. I'm 43. Man, me too. Oh, thank you. I do have a lot of metal. I do have my story actually on my page. That's what I was going to tell you guys about. On my second page. Okay, so I accidentally, one of you guys follows me on the Snappy chat. And I can't remember which one it is. One of y'all are slick. Actually, I'm not slick. That's what happened. Okay. So I decided to make a Snapchat the other day. Going off. I was not going to show that to anybody. Do you know, have you ever made a video and you just need to make the video and you don't plan on sharing it? I don't know how I did, but I'm yelling into the okay, but I meant it all. I meant every single word of it, and we're gonna go over on my second page. It's something that it's two topics that okay. Basically, I was telling people how, and we're gonna go over this, how I feel like things were stolen from me in my car accident. And there needs to be laws made where in 10 years or 15 years, your lawyer or someone from the state can come back to you and say, how are you feeling? What are you doing? Let's see your doctors. You know, what's happening? Are you on medications for life? Let's see what we could do here, right? Just so that way you can say, yeah, you know, I'm 40 now. Been 12 years. I've been thinking about it. What if I want to have kids? I can't. I'm on too many medications. Can't get off of them. 11, to be exact. What if I wanted to get married? Can't do that neither. Got to keep my insurance. So I went off on those two subjects because I was really upset. When I thought about it, I got pissed. I got real pissed. And someone was like, they wrote me back and they were like, Tanya, but there's adoption, there's this and that. And it just made me like feel so special because I was like, I know there is. And I just, you know, I was just upset. But I do want to talk about it because there's, you know what I got for this car accident? $2,600. You heard that right. $2,600. And it's just like, I want to get off of everything. I would love to, but I just know I physically can't. Like, I have to be able to sleep. And my sleeping medicine, I've been on that 12 years. I've been on all my medications 12 years or more. Yeah, it's a lot of meds. And it's just like gabapentin. It's nothing good. You know what I mean? Like gabapentin and then something to make my mouth moist and something for my hands because I shake. Like they think I'm gonna have Parkinson's. It's a big thing. um, yeah. So they're like trying to catch that early, you know? But, like, it's just yeah, it was insane. I was just like and I didn't know that I sent it. I didn't know until all of a sudden this lady pops up. She's just like, "You're so precious," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I sent it." I couldn't sue him, no, he didn't have a pot to piss in, my lawyer said. My lawyer even took less money. He was supposed to take 4%, he took 3%. He's like, "I feel bad for you." He's like, "You're not getting shit." I was like, "Yeah." And insurance at the time was only 12,500. So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want anyone to think this girl's over here rolling in dough. Yeah, his insurance was 12,500 at the time. It was right before they switched to 25,000. And then, I remember I was, like, riding with I forget what I was doing, and my aunt had the nerve we'll talk about her on my second channel too, she's a hoot. She had the nerve to ask me, "Well, why didn't you ask him how much insurance he had on his car when you got in there?" Are you on crack? Like, is it crack? Because, I mean, who asks anybody what kind of insurance they have when they get in their car? It was just insanity to me. I don't know. It's just my life's insanity, and I'm gonna bring it all to YouTube. So, make sure you subscribe over to Unfiltered with Tanya as well because we gonna be getting unfiltered over there. And, I was in a bad car accident. Um, and yeah. It is on my page. There's, like, a picture of a car, and it's my accident. So it's out there. I'm gonna put that I think I'm gonna put that video over on the second page too, because that's where I kinda wanna put it, but, yeah, we're gonna go over there. I'm just gonna be, like, doing, like, little story times and stuff like that, and then I wanna, like, ha have you guys send in your story times and stuff too. So he wasn't even working. I think he was military. He wasn't working, I don't think, but he had money because he had money. I mean, I saw it. Um, but yeah, they just couldn't get him. It was just, you know, one of those things. And now it's just like, I don't know, when you go through something, I feel like they should ask you 10 years later because you don't know your head from your ass when after a car accident, especially one like mine. I was in a wheelchair, gripping my hands like this because I couldn't relax. You know what I mean? You don't ask somebody questions under those circumstances. I don't know. And I should have had like I should have had I guess a speaker, but I didn't. I haven't been back yet, Miss Bree, but I thought about going back on Saturday when I go down because I'm gonna go down and see my best friend's boy graduate high school. So, and then she leaves the next day for Louisiana. So, really, Mandy, I'll have to go check out Makeup Monster. I've checked her out like once or twice, and I like her voice. People always say like she has a weird voice. I don't think she does. I like her voice. I'll have to check her out. Thanks, Mandy. When you're borrowing a car, never when I was a passenger, right, PKC? When I heard that, I'm like, "Are you kidding?" She's like, "Well," and "Well, I have $125,000 of insurance on my car because we own this and this and that." "Well, I don't own that, neither does he. Why would we ask?" It's crazy. It's so crazy. You are covered if you have insurance, then I think you're covered. She has a grief series? Oh, I'll definitely check that out. Because I mean, if you guys want a grief series, I'm funny with it though too. You know what I mean? Because my family takes grief and we have to make a joke. It's like we're weird. We're weird. When I lost my eye, my mom was like, "Give her my eye," and my brother's like, "No, she'll look like a damn husky." Because I have brown eyes, my mom had beautiful blue eyes, and my mom said that joke it really helped her, like, in that moment, just, like, kinda to giggle a little bit and not feel so, like, helpless because her only daughter they didn't know what was gonna happen. So the dogs are great. Thanks for asking, Michelle. We got one right here. We got one over there. One on a blanket, one on a bed. I got to get another dog bed. They ripped their dog bed because you know they claw at it, and I yell at them to stop clawing. They clawed through it, so I got to get them a new one. So we've got Mia Grace here. She's the Weimaraner. There's a Weimaraner that lives here now. That's really cute. And then we've got O'Reilly. They're always with me. So I met Vincent, like 4 wait, hold on. 4 months after my mom died, 2 years after my accident, about 2 years. But it was right when I needed it was like right when I needed him, you know? I didn't have a boyfriend for a really long time. I didn't care for one. I decided to get on Tinder. I was bored one night. I was just bored. And then yeah, he came and picked me up, and I remember I always take pictures of people's license plates in case for my roommate, in case anyone comes takes me. And we just had the best time. We went out to eat and we just talked and we never left each other's side. The guy, Paul, yeah, he apologized by he brought me weight loss magazines to the hospital. I got down to 95 pounds in the hospital. So yeah, those were cute. And then my favorite, right? My favorite is this. He stands up and I'm in the hospital bed, right? And he picks up his shirt and he says, "Look at my seatbelt burn." I'm seriously like this, laid back. My best friend Misty walked in the room. She had to walk back out. She was crying so hard. She didn't want me to see it. She said that I was blown up like a balloon. She's like, "You were huge." She's like, "I didn't recognize you." She had to leave. And so he showed me a seatbelt burn. Okay. That's all I said. I said, "Man, that sucks," you know, because I really was real classy about the whole thing. I don't know where the class came from. Guess my mama. But I was like, "Oh, that sucks." And then he said, "Yeah, I had to get 3 stitches in my knee too." I'm on a Dilaudid pump while he's talking to me about this. I'm literally on a pump every 10 minutes I can hit the button. Somebody get him out of here. They did too. They really did. They saw the look on my face. They saw I wasn't allowed to have any stress. It was like they said, "If you have stress, you will die." Like, I'm like, "What? What do you mean? I'm always stressed." They're like, "No, seriously, you can't be stressing out. You can't have any stress. You have too many injuries and stuff like that." And so they left. It was him and his mom. And I'll have to tell you guys all the stories. Like when we were going to court, I didn't charge him. The state picked it up. I didn't do it. I did not do it. His mom would come and like sit near me, and I was in a wheelchair and she'd try to like bully me. I'm gonna tell the whole story because I've got a platform to do that on. You know what? Shouldn't have bullied me. Marianne shouldn't have bullied me. I won't drop the last name, but we're gonna be dropping first names. So I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna go cuddle with my boo bear. But thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it so much. If you guys don't mind, hit the like on your way out. I'll be back on tomorrow to finish up the documents. We may do a day live, night live, whatever you guys feel like doing. But we will be back to do that, and we're gonna read. It gets better. It gets better and better as we read along. So that's pretty much like the first portion that we read was like, you know, the interview in the beginning and all of that kind of stuff. So now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, the stuff that we haven't heard or seen. So I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you very much for being here. Bye, guys. My music won't play. So I don't have any music tonight. I won't like scroll down for some reason. But maybe if I go on brand unfiltered. Let's try unfiltered. Okay. It still won't go down. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay. Well, I can't give you any cool tunes tonight, but I'll have to give you guys some tomorrow. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it so much. I don't know why it's being like weird. Yeah, it gives me this, but doesn't give me any.